the July Lesser Game of the Month. This time it's Sonic the Hedgehog Megamix for the Sega CD. Now, before you guys start screaming, "Ah, you dirty pirate!" let me explain. Sonic the Hedgehog Megamix is actually a homebrew title, which is really wicked. It's probably one of the best homebrew I have ever played, especially on the Sega CD. They've taken the game engine of Sonic CD, but they've added to it the elements of Sonic the Hedgehog 1 with alternate music tracks and whatnot. It's actually a killer game, so no, I'm not publicly admitting going over to the piracy dark side or anything. It's just that this is an awesome homebrew title, and I feel it deserves some recognition, which is why we're going to make it July's Lesser Game of the Month. So let's pop it in and check it out. Alright, here we go with one of the best homebrews I feel I have played in a long while. Now there's a lot of options you can go through. I want to go through them real close. In the player select, you can select to play as Sonic, Mighty, Shadow, Tails, Knuckles. In mode select, you've got either the normal mode or the original mode, which changes up your stages somewhat. And then you've got a sound test. We're going to start out playing as Sonic. Of course, since this is a Sega CD title, there is some obligatory load time. For this game, though, totally worth it. Now, notice that whenever you first start the stage, Sonic actually runs right on. You've got the dash move that was in the Sonic CD, of course. And there are a few glitches. Whenever you go off the screen, you actually stop moving. Not really a big deal, in my opinion. Like I said, it is a homebrew, and it's actually in beta. They're actually still doing work on it. One thing that you probably want to notice is that the speed is back. Unlike a lot of the newer Sonic the Hedgehog titles that aren't really that fast, this one here has that sense of speed as you just tear through the level. Probably one of the reasons I'm a big fan of this homebrew. And that spin attack, that little mid-air dash thing, it's a huge help to you. I notice also that while it is kind of in the spirit of Sonic 1, you do get different shields, like flame shields and whatnot. Get in the ring, and you can check out the bonus stage real quick. And once again, there is some load time. Like I said, though, for Sega CD games, it's acceptable. It uses the engine for your special games, or your bonus levels, whatever, as Sonic 1 did. However, they're really changed over a lot. And they're a lot more challenging than the ones that were in the original Sonic. See if I can get in here real quick. There we go. As you can see, they can be pretty tricky. But I wanted to get out of there real quick, that way I could show you guys some other stuff in this video before I run out of time, because of, you know, YouTube's time limit and whatnot. Now, one thing that's cool is that every stage has its own music. So, you know, whenever you're in a world, you're not hearing that world's music throughout the entire world. You're actually getting different music throughout the entire thing. Another thing than most is that there is now two ways to boost. You've already seen the usual boost mode where he curls up in the ball, but if you hold up and boost, he charges up his legs, let go, and he takes off in my opinion, he's a bit faster. It's really hard to tell, but I think he's actually a bit faster. But in my opinion, this game is probably... It's better than Sonic 1. It's not quite as good as Sonic 2, but very, very close. Not as good as Sonic 3, but a lot better than Sonic 3, 4, Knuckles. I probably got that backwards in the video. It's not as good as Sonic 2, not as good as Sonic CD, but better than Sonic 3, and better than Sonic and Knuckles, and obviously better than a lot of the other more recent Sonic games. I'm going to try to hurry up and get to the boss level. I don't know if I'm actually going to have time in this video to do so, but we're going to go ahead and make that attempt real quick. Now notice also enemy placement and the placement of the bumpers, or the little springs or whatnot, they're actually very well thought out in this game. If you're not paying attention, you're going to take hits like that. And some people call it cheap, and I can kind of halfway understand that, but I'm more along the type that I think that it makes you think, it makes you pay attention. Yeah, the first time you play, you're not going to understand where all of them are. But that's what these old school games are all about. You know, they're about learning where all the stuff is, the tricks to get past them and whatnot. They're not about blowing through the game right when you first pick it up. And I like that. I realize there's a bunch of people out there that don't, and I can kind of respect that. It's kind of what, you know, the Halo generation has done. But that's not my style, and the people who are making this homebrew understand how to make a good old school game. Yeah, we made it to the boss, and thankfully in time to get into the video. Sweet. Now you're going to see it's the boss from Sonic 1, from the first stage of course, but there's a little trick to it this time. Instead of 2 platforms, you get 1 moving platform, and it really makes this boss a little bit harder. And you can see the trick I'm using is the spin dash to dodge my way out of it. But, I mean, it's kind of like the old game, but there's a new twist to a lot of it. So, that's it for July's Game of the Month. I really think that y'all need to download and try this one. And, come on, if you got a Sega CD laying around, it's completely free. If you don't have a Sega CD laying around, you're obviously watching this on your computer. Go out, get a Sega CD emulator, Google Sonic Megamix, and download it. It's really worth it. It's just a killer homebrew title that, quite frankly, outperforms any of Sega's newer games. So download it and check it out. We'll see you next time.